Are you looking for peace of mind at your doorstep? Look no further. With the Blink Video Doorbell, your home's entrance is always within your control. Check out the link in the video description to learn more and get your Blink Video Doorbell on Amazon. Your home is in your hands.
Anthony Albanese has been slammed after turning down an invitation to join a summit in the U.S. The Prime Minister will not join a select group of world leaders at a NATO summit in Washington later this month. Defense Minister Richard Marles will instead attend the event and join leaders from the U.S., most Western European countries, Japan, South Korea, and New Zealand. An unnamed source told the Sydney Morning Herald Mr. Albanese's advisors warned him not to make the trip as his government is bucketed over the cost of living crisis. Concerns were reportedly raised the trip could add fuel to criticism about Mr. Albanese's overseas travels, with the habit earning him the nickname Airbus Albo. The unfortunate nickname began circulating on social media and eventually in opposition commentary after the Prime Minister notched up 31 overseas trips in his first 7 months in office. Liberal Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister Simon Birmingham on Tuesday accused Mr. Albanese of committing a dereliction of duty by not going to the summit. The number one responsibility of a government is the national security of the nation, he told Sky News. The bringing together of the NATO nations together with the 4 Asia-Pacific nations is a grouping of the very first types of nations and partners and allies who we would call upon if we were in trouble. Mr. Birmingham claimed the Prime Minister was more concerned about winning votes. Anthony Albanese would rather be campaigning to shore up Labour marginal seats than sitting down with the NATO leaders to ensure global security and our national security interests are heard, is an appalling representation of his priorities, he said. Mr. Birmingham did not accept Mr. Marles as an adequate substitute. We should expect the Prime Minister to do the job as the nation's leader, he said. Now, if Anthony Albanese has an absolutely compelling reason, let him state it as to why he cannot go. But if this is just because he'd rather be at home campaigning or dealing and responding to the internal chaos in the Labour Party, well, that is not a good enough reason. An unnamed diplomatic source in Brussels said Mr. Albanese's decision was disappointing. This gathering of leaders will hopefully send a message that the world's leading democracies are united when it comes to preserving the rules-based order, they said. Australia will be represented, but of course, it would be preferable if all the leaders of all nations were there. A government source claimed Mr. Albanese made the decision after he was unable to confirm a bilateral meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden. Mr. Albanese attended the previous 2 NATO summits, in the Spanish city of Madrid in 2022 and the Lithuanian capital of Vilnius last year, calling them essentially the meeting globally of the world's democratic leaders.